Good job, Brad. Good job. What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, man. So, last time we were working on the Colorado, we were waiting for something to come from Amazon. It was one of those, you know, overnight things, overnight purchase that took 3 days to get here. Yeah, gotta freaking love it, right? Well, it was this guy right here, the reamer. It's the... We'll call this the reamer because it's exactly what it's for. This is a 10-degree reamer. That is what we need to use to actually drill these holes out for the ball joints. So these are Crown Vic steering knuckles. These came off of a Ford Crown Vic. These are what Braven is going to be using on his Chevy Colorado.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's because he wants to convert to
5-lug.
5-lug. So if you guys didn't know, Colorados, just like the Silverados and Avalanches, Suburbans, Tahoes, all that shit, comes 6-lug, man. 6-lug on this tiny little truck. Well, it's a mid-sized truck, okay?
So let's not call everything I own tiny now, okay? Where this is little.
It's average, a little above average, okay?
I would rather be a little above average. Okay?
Anyhow, dude, my point is, why did they make a mid-sized truck freaking 6-lug? But who knows?
Man, but the thing was beefy.
Yeah, at the same time, I used to own a Nissan Frontier. If you guys have ever had one of those, they have a fully boxed in frame, same as the Colorado. Also came 6-lug, exact same lug pattern, as a matter of fact. Anyhow, moving on. So in order to run the Crown Vic steering knuckles to convert to 5-lug on the front of the Colorado, he needs to drill out, well, bevel out where the ball joints go. So the Ford ball joints are actually just straight, where GM ball joints have a taper to them, and to be precise, a 10-degree taper. And that is exactly what this drill bit is for. We're waiting on this. We need to drill these out before we can move forward with painting all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're gonna do right freaking now with the help of this here 90-degree drill that I went running everywhere to see if somebody had one that we could borrow. And look at this, I found one. It's probably older than Braven, but I found one. All right, so we have the first steering knuckle clamped into the bench vise. This is where the lower ball joint goes in. That is where the upper ball joint goes in. So pretty much the steering knuckle is sitting the correct way it would be sitting on the vehicle. So we are gonna start off with drilling the lower. So the lower ball joint actually goes through the steering knuckle from the top through the bottom. And right now, if I take the lower control arm with the ball joint on here, this thing does not fit through there. So that is what it is we need to fix. So not only is the diameter too small to fit this ball joint, but also this ball joint has that taper in it that we were talking about. And that is exactly what it is this drill bit is gonna give us. So if you see, this drill bit is tapered 10 degrees. I'll have a link in the description down below for this drill bit if you guys are needing it. And just to let you know, you will need a 90-degree drill like this because a standard drill won't fit inside of here. You need a drill that's gonna actually fit. Bang, bang, just like that. Like this one barely does. All right, we're gonna use some WD-4 as lubricant, which kind of sucks because these things are nice and clean and ready for paint, but we only have one of these freaking bits right here, and it was hard to get. We had to wait for shipping, so we don't want to break it. Gonna start off nice and slow. It's aluminum, so it shouldn't be too bad. Taking some chips out for sure. Putting in work. So what we're gonna do is, as we are reaming this thing out, we gotta keep going back and forth and checking the ball joint, because obviously we don't want to go too far. We gotta go just enough to where we're gonna be able to fit in there. Take your time, do it right, you can do it, baby. Ooh. Oh, that thing is eating some stuff now, boy. So I'm pretty certain we still gotta go further, but Like I said, I just want to check it. Oh, damn. We're in there like Uncle Sam, yo.
What?
I don't know. I think that's enough, dude.
No, sir, that's the upper.
Oh, shit. Wrong one.
Those have different thicknesses.
What you even got that out here for?
We got to do the upper one.
Oh, all right. No, we're nowhere near it. I was like, good Lord, that thing is done, son.
I was like, no, it's not.
Clean out the hole. Clean up the bit. Whoa, Jesus Christ, all right. PG-13 there, buddy. PG-13. Jesus.
Lubricate the goddamn hole, boy.
Lube it up. I feel like the aluminum's not happy being lubricated, because as soon as the lubrication kind of wears away, this thing starts eating.
Yeah.
Oh, we had two things give out on us. For one, the chuck let go of the damn bit, and for two, the vise let go of the damn knuckle. Gotta love it. All right, so we just want to give you guys an idea how much it is you're gonna have to drill through this damn thing. So this is the steering knuckle, the factory one off of the Colorado. If you put this bit through there, you see how far that boy's got to go? That's basically how deep we need to get through the Crown Vic steering knuckle.
We could take a Sharpie and put a little sharp mark, give us an idea.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, there's WD-40 all over this thing. There ain't no Sharpie or nothing gonna stick to it.
Right.
So we'll just have to keep checking it. But yeah, another thing about the Colorado steering knuckles, these things are solid steel, where the Crown Vics, they're aluminum. So you're also saving a shitload of weight.
Yeah, this thing is heavy. I kind of want to put both of the assemblies completely together and then like hold them both on the scale while I'm on there and kind of get a weight difference.
Yeah, or you could just strip this one down and then just weigh the difference between the steering knuckle, between the steel one and the aluminum one.
That's fair. Everything changes.
I mean, there's probably going to be a difference in the brakes and everything as well, but you know, the big savings is going to be in that damn steering knuckle.
For sure. Oh.
All right, so we got a long ways to go there, buddy, because that is how far it's going in now. Well, actually not that bad. Got probably about another ½ of an inch. You remember the top of this tapers in.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Can you hold the steering knuckle back like that so that it doesn't come loose again? It's because this right here is rounded where it's clamped.
Yeah.
So it's trying to pop up, you know what I mean? So if you keep a little bit of pressure here back, then it won't do that. Just a little bit.
It stops drilling when it gets lubricated.
As soon as you put that on, it stops drilling, yeah. All right, so I think we got it. I think we're deep enough there, baby. Gonna go ahead and try this thing out once again, and boom, boom. Yeah, that's it, dude.
It's solid.
It looks like that is it to me.
And get a little spinner net on there.
So now you see where this ball joint wouldn't even fit in there at all before. Now it goes all the way down in, and we left. Obviously, you don't want to go too terribly deep because, you know, it hurts. I'm just
what
kidding.
the fuck? I don't know why I shook my head. I didn't even hear you. I was just agreeing with you, man. God.
Anyhow, that's pretty much exactly where we need to be at, man. So we have now the top ball joint we have to do on this one, but you know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the lower, since I don't know, I just have it fresh in my mind. But yeah, just make sure you go back and forth and you're checking, making sure you're not going too deep, because yeah, you don't want to.
The upper one doesn't actually like need like to really clearance much. It's just more of get that angle in there.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's as big of a drill as the bottom one is.
Yeah, the bottom one is definitely the most chips you got to make. Go ahead and get this thing clamped inside of here. Knock this one out. We'll move on to the top.
Perfect. Don't you love it when everything just, you know, that's all I'm going to say for now.
Yes, ma'am. Both lower ball joints have been reamed out. Now we just have the 2 uppers that we need to do. Then we can actually go ahead and test fit all this stuff. See how it looks on the Colorado. Good Lord. This thing hasn't had body or suspension pieces on it. And God, it's been like 2 years.
Whatever, man. It's been...
Yeah, so as you can see, it's just the threads that fit in there right now. So the whole tapered section, 10-degree tapered section of this ball joint does not fit inside of there because this is set up for a forward ball joint, you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I do know. I do.
Yeah. So we got to add a taper in there, and this one's going to be a lot less. Well, kind of. Honestly, I think we have to basically go until we make the whole inside shiny.
Most likely for the most part.
Because then the taper will start at the bottom and come up to the top. But once again, we are going to do a little bit, check it, do a little bit, check it. Make sure that we don't go too terribly far. So we're going to go ahead and switch out drills because this one, we need a drill from the top because the ball joint actually goes in from the top. That's an extremely important detail. If you are doing this yourself, you have to drill from the side that the ball joint actually enters. Otherwise, you're gonna need to go get yourself some new steering knuckles. Just to give you guys an example really quick, Braven went over there and marked the reamer bit with the stock steering knuckles. So this mark right here is for the top ball joints. That's how far the bit would go into the actual stock steering knuckle. And then this mark right here was for the lower, and that's how far the drill bit would go in for the lower. So that's basically what it is you need to do on this one. But that's just to give you a rough idea of how much of a difference it is as far as drilling. I'm still gonna go ahead and drill a little bit, check it, drill a little, check it. But as long as we are somewhat in the ballpark of the factory one, I think we'll be doing pretty good. That's a dangerous angle.
All right.
Further, yeah?
Yeah, just a little bit further.
Well, you probably want all the threads sticking out, huh?
No, not necessarily.
I think you want all the threads sticking. Well, not all, but almost. Yeah, almost all the threads sticking out. Because we are almost to, we have about 1/4 of an inch to go from the OEM mark. Damn. Dead on the mark. Give me the drill back. That's pretty good, dude.
I like it.
You tell me. I mean, you got plenty enough to put the nut on.
I like it.
And it's got a nice little cone in there to suck that ball joint in there, get it nice and tight.
Oh, no
diddy. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I think that's freaking perfect. All right, uno más, my friend. Uno más. ABS sensor.
Damn, son, that is so cool. Ever since I got the Colorado, and especially whenever I did the rear end swap to the 8.8, I've always wanted to go ahead and swap over to the 5 lug in the front too. And now that I have the truck apart, it was the perfect opportunity to go ahead and play through with that. I am definitely glad and very happy that I decided to go with it, because now we'll be able to run matching wheels all the way around. So that's definitely sick. Man, that looks so good though. I really like that black. I'm honestly not complaining about it one bit. We'll see. We'll see how I feel after tomorrow. Now we just got to go ahead and get the other side all marked up and put on. Basically, it's exactly the same as this one. This one was a little bit of a pain in the butt. Kind of end up putting a little tiny scratch in the paint right here because of this. I'm gonna end up knocking these off because I don't necessarily need them. Gonna have to do some touching up for sure.
It's now the next day. Moving on, baby. So we got all this stuff drilled yesterday. Braven got it all mocked up on the frame. Everything looks to be a-okay. So now we get to move forward and take it all back off. So the steering knuckle actually needs to be painted, and we got a bunch of other things on the truck that needs to be sprayed. The last run of stuff that we painted inside of the booth was all the creamy things. Actually, the knuckles are going creamy too, right? So we have that to spray creamy, and then everything else is black, correct?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, we got a lot of stuff to spray again today. We got to get all the stuff that we already sprayed out of the booth. Braven's gonna work on getting all that installed onto the frame for the final time. Now it can actually go on and stay on.
Right. I don't have to take it off all again, over and over again.
Yeah, so the game plan is to get everything out of the booth. We got to get it up here so Braven can install it all. And then we got to get all the stuff set up in the booth that I now need to spray. And then we'll both be busy and hopefully have a good productive day. I'm not gonna be the errand boy. I'll do the lifting, buddy.
Whatever, bro. It is not that heavy.
It is that fucking heavy. Why wouldn't our jack go that high?
You want me to go up higher? Go low.
Wow! Look at that.
It looks good on with red on it.
We've actually graduated to sitting on jack stands now instead of wood blocks.
Half the truck. Okay, so since I took this thing apart, you know, over a month ago, for some odd reason, I'm trying to make sure before I completely install everything for the last time that I know where everything goes, which for sure I know this shackle goes here and I know this hardware is for this. Whenever I sent the hardware to get zinc coated, it all got mixed together and there's not really much that I can tell what goes where. So that's kind of part of the difficulty of doing something like that, but it's okay. So I have the split monoleaves here from Calvert Racing. I also got to go ahead and pop these off. So these are just going to go ahead and sit here just to protect the actual bushing that goes inside of the split monoleaves here. But the split monoleaves that goes inside the traction bars, I apologize about that, but these are actually all taken apart. So I have to reassemble these right now, and then I want to go ahead and assemble everything with some grease just to make sure I don't have to actually go through and redo all this again. I got to throw some lithium grease between everything. What I'm going to do is kind of just go through the stages of getting everything kind of, you know, put together, and then bring you guys along whenever I'm ugga-chugging the bolts in for the last time. Yeah, just be patient with me. I'm trying to work with remembering where everything goes, but man, I'm so excited. I'm excited for this color. I think it's going to come out super clean on the truck. Where the fuck did that go? Damn it, where did that go? That thing flew all the way across the yard, so now I gotta go find that. Okay, I'm back. I found another one. Get some good old white lithium grease. I want to make sure to grease up in between this steel bushing and this aluminum bushing so there's no corrosion or anything like that happen in the future from it sitting, you know, of course, through the weathers and moisture, etc. Damn, son.
So while Braven's been out there assembling the rear end of the truck, I've been in there getting all this stuff ready for paint. This is all gonna be the next batch of things that get sprayed. This is all just going black, nothing crazy. This is for his radiator, it's the shroud, and then the fan shroud for the radiator. This is his transmission cross member, and these are for the engine stabilizers, I believe is what they're called, the little arms, and then these are the plates for that. And then the front cross member that goes on like underneath the engine. These are the little these are for his anti-roll bar. This is the bushing section of it. Gonna make that black just to kind of separate it. And then the hard lines for the coolant system. All of this stuff goes black. I need to get it all obviously primered first. Everything's sanded, everything's been wiped down, everything is hung. All the dust has been blown off. It's 100% ready to start spraying. So I just gotta, I was gonna say, mix up some damn primer. I forgot, I've been waiting for Braven to get done with the camera. And yeah, I got the primer already mixed. Just gotta put my damn mask on, bro, and get to work. Alright, got everything coated in primer, so now we're gonna go through and spray everything black. I'm gonna put a smooth finish on everything. There's this piece right here, after we get everything coated, I'm gonna come back and do kind of a sprinkle, kind of to put a little bit of a texture to it, because this thing, it came out kind of, you know, it's got some dents and stuff, so the thing is it kind of changed a few times, so yeah. It was like going this way and then that way, and long story short, this thing went through hell before it got to its final form, I guess you'd say. For the most part, you don't see this. Now the bed is going to go on the truck. This aims up to the bottom of the bed at the same place where the fuel cell is going to be sitting. So it doesn't matter. It's just a shroud, you know what I mean? But for the time being, if Braven has his bed off, you will see that. So I'm going to try to kind of hide that stuff as much as I possibly can. So I'll show you guys how I do that. Just turning the air down and doing like a splatter texture on it. I'll do that absolutely last, but for now we have to do 3 coats of black on every single bit of all this shit.
Alright guys, so we got a lot done so far on the Colorado. We got all the cow tracks set up, so the cow track split monoleafs and then the traction bars themselves. Everything all bolted in with the rear end. Basically, the rear end is just about complete. I'm waiting for my dad to paint one of the brackets in there. It's going to be black. It's going to hold the actual rear anti-roll bar from Rhodes race cars in there. So my next step is going to go ahead and install all these brake lines. I went through while I was waiting for my dad to bring the camera out and put in all these AN fittings. I got all that done, so now I just need to go through and actually bolt in all the just all the brake lines running up to the front and rear.
Alright, got all this stuff sprayed black. Every single bit of it. Dude, it came out perfect, I must say. I don't know why. I've always been really good at spraying black, because I sprayed a lot of black when I worked at the sign company. This satin black is what I want to say, like 60% of the spraying that I had to do was this damn black, you know what I'm saying? But always comes out really nice. I really like this black. It will dry to a satin. It's not going to be too shiny, it's not going to be too dull. But moving on, like I said, this piece It looks a lot better now being all black, of course, but as you can see, you can see, you know, the lumpiness and stuff inside of it. So we're gonna try to spray a texture over this to kind of hide that. Now, to be straight up with you, it's not gonna completely hide it, of course, but I think it will make it look just ever so slightly more presentable, you know? This is actually really simple, dude. Now, I don't normally, well, I don't ever use a pressure gauge. I've had a lot of questions that people ask me, what PSI do you spray this or that or this or that at? I never learned as far as pressure. I always play it by ear. So that right there is where I just sprayed all this stuff at. And if I'm being honest with you, my compressor, like, it dips down and comes back up and dips down. So through the duration of spraying something, I'm constantly just having to adjust this ever so slightly, and I'm just used to that. That's how I learned, and that's just how I spray. So to put this texture that we're going to be doing, I literally just turn the gun way down, so whenever you do allow the product to come out, it just kind of splatters out. It doesn't come out in a nice even fan. It comes out as a splatter, and that's for the most part it, dude. You don't want, if you go too low, it will splatter too much and it'll run. So you do need a little bit of air coming out, of course. I'll demonstrate right here on my booth wall on my tarp. So you see that? It's just coming out as a speckle. You get up close and see it. It's just a speckle, and you can do that nice and even over something, and it gives it kind of a cool look, like a texture look. That's exactly what it is we're about ready to do. So now I'm gonna try to set you guys up in a way that hopefully you can see the reflection as this speckle is going on there. I don't know if it's gonna be possible or not. Hopefully you guys will be able to see that. I'm gonna get my mask back on because the fumes are crazy in here. Well, there it is, man. It's gonna have a little bit of a texture to it whenever it dries. Is it gonna completely hide that? I doubt it, but like I said, you're never gonna see it unless the bed is actually off of the truck. We might actually end up, because I think whenever the truck does go to SEMA, I would assume that it's gonna go without the bed on it. So we'll probably end up making like an aluminum plate to go over this whole thing that just kind of hides that, you know? Or just remake this piece, who knows, man? If it is gonna go to SEMA without a bed on it, we're definitely gonna have to clean that up and make it look a little bit nicer. But if it does have a bed on it, it don't matter, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously with the bed on it, you won't see it. But now I need to kind of move some of this stuff up. It's gonna have to stay in here and dry, of course. I have a few more things that we have to spray, the front steering knuckles, but those are going a different color. All right, steering knuckles are ready for a coat of primer. I went ahead and I masked off the areas where the ball joint nut is gonna be, because we all know that the ball joint nut is most certainly gonna tear that damn paint up. So I figured we may as well just leave that bare aluminum right there. So it dawned on me that that hub bearing probably isn't going to be very happy trying to fit inside of there with, you know, however many millimeters we're adding of paint. So I went ahead and I used some acetone and I wiped the primer out of there. And now I have that area masked off as well so that we don't build that all up with paint. Yeah, I'm going to get some paint mixed up. These are going creamy along with all the rest of the suspension stuff. And yeah, we get these sprayed and that's it for the day, man. All right, knuckles are sprayed. All of this stuff is done. So got all the black done. For the most part, I think we're done with all the things that need to be painted creamy for now. The last thing that we had left was the knuckles. Did 2-3 coats of creamy on it and 2 coats of gloss clear. Braven wants these parts to be shiny. I don't blame him. Dude, the frame's coming out amazing. The whole chassis is coming out really nice. But yeah, dude, that's pretty much it for today. That's all we have time for. The sun is gone. Where'd it go, man? Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please do smash the like button. Peace, and I'll see you guys on the next one.